Okay, YouTube and okay, first of all, not YouTube. Dear headset, stay connected so we can get this over with and actually go have fun. Okay, YouTube is actually allowing me. Get this over with. Sweet. And actually go have fun. Sweet. We are live today. Oh, and we just got up to 260 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. Man, it was a grind just to get it to 250 subscribers. Now we're at 260 subscribers. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm sure I will offend one of the subscribers inevitably. They'll be like, oh, this is a cool gaming channel. And then I'll be like, all police are order-following cowards and government is slavery. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, but my uncle... Yeah, but my uncle is an order-following coward. He's been an order-following police coward for 40 years. How could you call my uncle an order-following coward? Hey, well, guess what? Your uncle is an order-following coward, and, I'm sorry, I'm the only one who has the balls to tell it to you. I'm sorry that's the way it is. I'm very, very sorry. And if your uncle is still an order-following coward, you should convince him, assuming that you are a caring, non-satanic, non-psychopathic individual, assuming that you are an individual that cares about other human beings, you should go and convince your order-following coward uncle to quit his job and to convince that uncle to stop being an order-following coward and become a real man, right? Tell him to get a real job. Tell your order-following coward of an uncle to go apply at McDonald's and to get a real job. That's what you should tell him. And then come back to me and put it in the comments below. Tell us. Actually, let me do an interview. Let me interview you and tell the audience how your experience went. But anyways, welcome back to Beagle Eye Visions, everybody. Government is slavery. And no, Mark Passio, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Mark Passio does not own that information. Mark Passio does not own natural law. He does not have a copyright on natural law. Anytime I start talking about natural law, Mark Passio isn't going to hire his lawyer and get your lawyer to sue you because you're talking about natural law. That's not the way it works. This is information. This is the truth. The truth is readily available for anybody who has the eyes to see, anybody who has the heart to care, to look into this information to find the truth. It is readily available for anybody. At all times, at any time period, no matter what there's my Trump voice, no matter what your location is, natural law is huge. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna take millions and billions of people to study and understand natural law, to create any real change, yes. To create any huge change. It's going to take millions. It's going to take billions. We need better content creators out there to speak louder other than, the stoners over at Beagle Eye Visions, right? Because Beagle Eye Visions, they don't have enough money to be pumping out this content. We need people with more money and better equipment to talk about natural law. There's just not enough people out there who have money. Beagle Eye Visions is broke as fuck, okay? Beagle Eye Visions is food stamp broke, but although Beagle Eye Visions are true anarchists, and those true anarchists over at Beagle Eye Visions will never use food stamps, right? Because it's cowardly. Food stamps are cowardly. But anyways... Enough ranting. How's everybody doing? I could be doing a lot better. The fucking rain. I could have made more money. I only made a small amount of money compared to a huge amount of money. because of the rain started coming in, started sprinkling while we were painting today. So we couldn't finish the job, and I'm so tired of this job. I want to move on to the next job. I'm so sick of being in this person's backyard, working on their garage. But Mother Nature keeps shafting us. So we couldn't get the job finished today. So frustrating. It said it was supposed to be clear. Actually, what time is it? Because it's still not raining. Man, we totally could have finished that job. But it said it wasn't supposed to rain until like 6 o'clock. It's about 3 o'clock right now, 3:30. Picklehead gets off work at 6 o'clock, which that's when I'm going to have to cook dinner. I owe Picklehead dinner. I keep telling her I'm going to cook goulash, which that's another thing. Goulash is so different. I've said I'm going to make goulash to so many different families, and so many different families have a different idea of goulash. So goulash in my family it's spaghetti, but instead of spaghetti noodles, it's macaroni noodles. So it's pasta, right? Red sauce, right? Marinara sauce, pasta sauce. Get some tomatoes, get some mushrooms, get some green peppers, get some diced up tomatoes, throw them in the sauce, cook the sauce, get the sauce going, cook the sauce, get lost in the sauce, right? But instead of spaghetti noodles, you use macaroni noodles, and cook some garlic bread on the side. It's so good. I can't wait. Very moral meal, because I don't put dead flesh in my goulash, right? And it's been amazing, so I have so much energy. I've been cutting down on meat. Like yesterday, we had a grilled cheese for lunch. We had grilled cheese and fries, right? So moral, no dead flesh, no animals were killed or slaughtered for the making of our meal yesterday. And then the meal, well, actually, I had chicken tacos today. So I regressed, right? I regressed. Animals were slaughtered for my lunch today. But that's why for dinner, after this Chautauqua, I got to do the dishes. I got to get the kitchen in order. I got to start cooking dinner before 6 o'clock. Picklehead will get home at 6 o'clock. Actually, let me send a message to the group chat. Goulash tonight for dinner. Yep, send a message to the Familia group chat. Right? So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I owe it to Pickle. And, if I don't cook, I know that Pickle typically eats dead flesh, which, I'm not her parent. I'm just the older brother. So I can, she doesn't listen to me as much as she does her madre. So, I got to do what I can, right? Got to try to educate. Try to educate. Eating dead flesh is immoral. It goes against natural law. Eating dead flesh goes against natural law. Right? I got some Twisted Tea here. I got a Twisted Tea bottle here for some caffeinated beverage. I should probably shut the hell up and get into the material, since nobody's tuned in anyway, right? Because people don't care. Nobody's tuned in because what do people care about? They care more about who is fighting in the UFC fight. They care more about who's going to the fucking Super Bowl than they do about freedom, than they do about educating their own children, than they do about educating children that are not their own, right? Like educating their little sister. Or educating, other children in the family. Educate the whole goddamn family. And then eventually, if you educate the entire family, it's going to branch out, and then you're going to have a very awesome community. You're going to have an amazing community of smart, intelligent people who know how to take care of themselves, right? Who aren't going to be self-indulgent, satanic fucking weirdos. Yep. Okay, sorry. Madre. When Mama texts, you better answer, okay? Like Justin Towns Earl said. May Justin Towns Earl rest in peace. Justin Towns Earl said, when you have a hillbilly mother, at any time, she knows if you're okay. And trust me, she knows if you got a hillbilly mother. She knows when you're in danger. She knows when you're hurt. I swear to God. I swear to Jesus, Bruce Lee, Christ. I can't make it make sense. I'm just speaking from experience. Hillbilly mothers, they fucking know, man. They know. I swear. They know. They know. They'll always figure it out. Somehow. Some fucking how. I don't know. I don't understand it. So it's cloudy. It's cloudy. Let me move again so Rare doesn't kick us. It's looking cloudy outside, but it's still daylight, so I should be able to read the material today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Beagle Eye Visions to get free edumacation. Free, no commercials, by the way. For now, because I'm still under 1,000 subscribers, so no commercials still, luckily. But let's get into the material. And I know I keep naming all of these videos after chapters, right? Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. But this book, The Last of the Hippies, does not have chapters. I'm just doing the videos in chapters, so just to help like keep track and you know. Hopefully maybe we'll get to the end of the book today. That's my goal. It is currently 3:29 p.m. 3:29 p.m. on Tuesday, March the 10th, and Picklehead will be off work at 6 o'clock. So at 5:30, however much time that is, I suck at math. So at 5:30, I might have to end it. Hopefully we can get farther in the book today. You know, you know, as we get closer to the end of the book, the higher chance that your host, Henry Nettrower, will get very emotional because, like I said, this book reminds me of what happened to my dead friends. You know, what happened to some of my friends who are still alive to this day, even, but they are addicted to meth. And, you know, personally, I don't want meth heads in my house, around my family members, you know, like, hey, call me an idiot, call me whatever the hell you want. I don't want meth heads in my house, around my family members, or around things that hold value in my eyes, you know, right? Like, I definitely don't want any meth heads around there. So it's like, we could say we all, you know, people in the freedom community, we love people, right? We all love each other. We love people, but, you know, people also love meth. So do with that information what you will. Let's get we're at the top of page 66 in the book, The Last of the Hippies. Welcome to the modern day Chautauqua. Kick your feet up. Make sure grab a nice drink, whether it's an alcoholic beverage, coffee, caffeine, a caffeinated beverage. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. But I will judge you if you put meth in your coffee. No, I totally will judge you, you know. And I'm being blatantly honest. I'm an honest person. Like what Matt Bennett says, I'm an honest person. I can't help but being honest. I'm an honest person. All right, top of page 66, Last of the Hippies. I'm going to take a drink here. Gosh, tea is so delicious. Top page 66. All right, let me flip back a page because the page doesn't end on a sentence. So it says drugs like Lardectil. Oh yeah, that's where we left off at. Drugs like Lardectil are widely used not only in mental hospitals but also in jails where their use is not officially permitted. Wally had found this out to his cost. The prison doctor's treatment for schizophrenia had quickly reduced him to a state of helplessness. By the time he was dragged into the courts to face charges, he was so physically and mentally bound up in a drug-induced straitjacket that he was totally incapable of understanding what was going on, let alone of offering any kind of defense for himself. When at least we did hear from him, an almost incomprehensible letter that looked as if it had been written by a 5-year-old child. He had been taken from the jail, herded through the courts where he had been sectioned under the Mental Health Act of 1959, and committed for an indefinite period to a mental hospital. Now, I want to, since this is a Chautauqua is a modern educational movement, I want to look up the Modern Health Act of 1959 and read through the Wikipedia, but I don't have the time. I literally do not have the time today because, like I said, I have to get to dinner and there's stuff I just have to do. And tomorrow, I'm going to take Wednesday off tomorrow. And, well, I'm forced to take Wednesday off tomorrow because it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. So I can't get any work done tomorrow. So I'm going to be getting a lot of reading done and also change my guitar strings and also apply to a job, which the bartender, when we had lunch, the bartender gave me an amazing tip that I have to apply to this job. I have to. Even if they don't hire me, even if I don't get an interview, I have to apply to this job. It is totally worth it. But yeah, I don't have the time. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time. I have to push through the material. I can't spend the time in the material as much. It freaking sucks because I'm a human being and I work and it fucking sucks. It just sucks. So, back to the material. We're about over halfway through the page of 66 in Last of the Hippies. Sectioning, which in truth is no more than compulsory hospitalization, is a method by which the authorities can imprison anyone who two doctors are prepared to diagnose as mad. Naturally, it is not difficult to find willing doctors. Yeah, that part. Prison hospitals are riddled with dangerous hacks who, having sunk to the bottom of their profession, are all too willing to oblige. Ooh, excuse me, a little burp there, a little taco burp. Once sectioned, the patient loses all normal human rights, can be treated in any way that the doctors see fit, and because appeal against the court decision is almost impossible, stands no chance of release until certified cured by those very same doctors. So with this being said, if you are a lazy piece of shit who doesn't like reading books and you want to have all the information handed to you on a golden fucking platter because you're too lazy to open a book, there are films that you can study that have phenomenal allegory that talk about the state of mental health in today's society. Movies that I think of off the top of my head: Jacob's Ladder, Mortal Kombat Legacy. There's a Mortal Kombat TV show called Mortal Kombat Legacy that gets into the mental health, the state of mental health. A TV show called Prison Break. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest points out. I mean, I haven't seen that in a few years, so don't quote me on that. But I think One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest directly points out the scam of the mental health bullshit that happens nowadays. Jacob's Ladder is a huge one. That's such a good one. And that's kind of a horror film. There's like some scary horror, very creepy elements to Jacob's Ladder. And yeah, Jacob's Ladder is just a very interesting movie. And that also gets into veterans and how veterans are treated, because veterans are treated with PTSD. Huge rabbit hole. But anyways, those are some really good movies, and that's just scratching the surface. There's so many good movies that talk about mental health that I'm just brain farting on. Sectioning enables the state to take anyone off the streets and imprison them indefinitely without any crime having been committed. It enables the state, within the letter of the law, to torture and maim prisoners and suffer no fear of exposure. Compulsory hospitalization is the ultimate weapon of our oppressive state, a grim reminder of the lengths to which the system will go to control the individual, whereas the bomb is a communal threat. Sectioning violates the very principle of individual human rights and is direct threat to the freedom of personal thought and action. The beagles might start losing it here. There's a relative. Mom's boyfriend is out in the yard. He's got the Chrysler 300. We had the Chrysler 300 out in the front yard trying to sell this thing. And it's just been playing musical chairs over the yard. Snoopy, get out of the window. Snoopy, come on. Hey, Snoop Dogg. Hey, come here. Come here. You want me to scratch your butt? Come here. Come here, Snoopy. Come here. Come here. I'll scratch your butt. Come here. I'm... Squirt. No. Squirt. Here, I'll scratch your butt. The dogs might be barking, so I apologize ahead of time. So where is it? Without any crime having been committed. It enables the state, within the letter of the law, to torture and maim prisoners and suffer no fear of exposure. Compulsory hospitalization is the ultimate weapon of our oppressive state. A grim reminder of the lengths to which the system will go to control the individual. Whereas the bomb is a communal threat, sectioning violates the very principle of individual human rights in its direct threat to the freedom of personal thought and action. Britain was recently forced by the European Court of Human Rights to allow its citizens the right to appeal against compulsory hospitalization. Although this might appear to be an improvement on what existed in Wally's time, patients still have to wait at least 6 months before the appeal will even be heard. Yes, and that is actually, speaking of allegory, that is one of the aspects in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. There's one of the scenes in that movie where it's like, I have to wait 6 months to even be able to go to court to see what happens to me. Like, it's slavery. There's no other word for it. There's literally no other word for it. It's slavery with extra steps, like what Rick would say from Rick and Morty. It's slavery with extra steps. Patients still have to wait at least 6 months before the appeal will be heard, by which time, like Wally, yes, exactly, they are liable to be so incapacitated by the treatment they have received that the appeal procedure would be impossible for them to handle. Yes, they get the human being in a vegetable state, pump them with big pharma drugs, give them so much drugs until their tongue is hanging out of their mouth and drool is dripping over their fucking chin. And then you can go to court to defend yourself, right? But it's, like just like what Penny said in the book. By then they're already way too far gone. They don't even know how to defend themselves. By then they're so far gone they don't even know what self is. They've lost the total sense of self. They're so heavily medicated in these places. And like I said in the previous Chautauquas, Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about this again in the book Biology of Belief. But people don't know this shit because people are too fucking lazy to get off their ass and read a fucking book. It's deplorable. Snoopy, get out of the window. Snoopy! Snoopy! When we heard of Wally's fate... Come here, stop whining. Come here, stop whining. Come here. When we heard of Wally's fate, we were so convinced that the experience would destroy him. Some of us, including myself, were convinced that the authorities intended to destroy him. Inevitably, we were assured by liberal acquaintances, dude, you're being way too cute, bro. Stop. I'm grinding right now, dude. We're grinding. It's okay, bro. We're gonna watch TV later. Yeah, it's okay. Get out of here. Get out. Go lay down, bro. Go lay down. Jesus, man. Now I gotta move. I gotta move before freaking Rare kicks me. Son of I was afraid that was gonna happen. I was afraid that was gonna happen. Okay, I'll sit right here. Freaking beagles are freaking losing their freaking minds here. All right, where was the spot? Including myself, we were convinced that the authorities intended to destroy him. Inevitably, we were assured by liberal acquaintances that we were just being paranoid. But those same liberals said the same about any of the horrors of modern technological society. From the bombs to the computer systems, they were afraid to confront within themselves. To computer systems that they were afraid to confront within themselves. Paranoid or not, we made efforts, firstly, legally, then illegally, to secure Wally's release. All of our attempts had failed. I gotta adjust my feet before my... Are we back? Hey. Hey-yo. 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 Testing. Sick. All right, still in here. Sick. Can't keep a good man down. Or sometimes you can, in Wally's case. Firstly, legally, then illegally, to secure Wally's release. All of our attempts had failed. We spent days on the phone contacting people whom we thought might be able to help or advise us. The most useful and compassionate help came from organizations like Release and BIT. All capital letters, BIT. Underground groups, some of which still operate today, helping people in all sorts of problems from housing to arrest. We soon realized that an appeal would be as good as impossible, and in any case, to follow legal procedures could take months, and by then it would be too late. We employed a lawyer to act on Wally's behalf, but the hospital made it impossible for him to contact Wally. Letters never got through, telephone calls proved pointless. The patient was always resting. Yeah. It's not in quotes in the book, but yeah, put that in quotes. The patient was always, in quotes, resting. Yeah. We then attempted to visit Wally in hospital, but were informed that no one but his close relatives could see him. His father had died, and his mother and sister, neither of whom would have anything to do with him, were abroad. Gambling on the chance that the staff knew little about his family background, one of us, posing as his sister, finally gained access to the hospital. Quite apart from simply wanting to see Wally, that's my friend, dude. I just want to see my friend. He's fucking locked up. It reminds me of the scene in SLC Punk too. Speaking, while we're on the topic of punk rock, right? Everybody knows that scene where Heroin Bob gets locked up in SLC Punk, and he's like, "I want a fucking cigarette, man." That scene is hilarious. But yeah, it's the same thing. This is what mental health does. Mental health is it's not about mental health. If it was about mental health, they wouldn't be locking people up and keeping them away from their relatives, right? Still to this day, this stuff goes on. It's a mental sham, a mental scam. Quite apart from simply wanting to see Wally, the aim of the visit was to plan a means of kidnapping him so that he could be taken away somewhere to recover from his ordeal. Yes, and recover from his ordeal, that means he's got to relapse. From whatever drug this mental hospital was given to Wally, he had to relapse. He's got to relapse from the prescriptions. He's got to readjust to society. He's basically been in prison. That's another allegory that I've already mentioned during this book's Chautauqua is what's that prison movie with all those awesome actors? Frank Darabont. Why am I brain farting? It's got the same actor as Jacob's Ladder. Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption perfectly fucking nails the scam of the quote-unquote mental health industry and of the of the prison industry, because that's what it is. It's an industry. It's not rehabilitation. It's not caring for human individuals who need help, who need an extra leg up, who are addicted to drugs, and they just go to prison because, they went down bad, so they go to prison. That's not what that is. Go watch the movie Shawshank Redemption. It tells all about the corruption. It shows the corruption. In the Shawshank Redemption, the character, what's his name? Well, played by the same actor who is in Jacob's Ladder. He tries to get books to the prison industry. He starts reading books while he's in prison to pass time, right? You have to pass time in prison to stay sane, to not lose your mind. He starts reading books. He's like, bro, all these books are shit. None of these books, they're all religious. So then he tries to get funding, right? He tries to get funding. He reaches out to other states, and he's like, we need to get more books in this prison. This prison needs more books. And the state and the prison industry goes like they don't want to get him more books. Like, they don't want to help out these prisons. And it's such a joke. And it's a perfect allegory for just real life. It's a perfect allegory for the prison slavery system. I hate prisons. You know, shout out to the real punk rock band of Renstrike. They have a chorus. I already mentioned it before. It's, as long as there is a soul in prison, as long as there is a soul in prison, I am not free. And it's so true. It goes along with the when one suffers, we all suffer mentality, right? As long as there is a human being suffering out there, we are all suffering. Period. Quite apart from simply wanting to see Wally, I already read that, taken away from somewhere to recover from his ordeal. On a second visit, I was able to accompany, in quotes, Wally's sister without arousing suspicion. We had hoped to finalize the kidnap plan, but we found him in such bad health that we realized it could be damaging to him to have to deal with the kind of movements that we had planned. What neither of us realized at the time was that rather than being the symptoms of mental illness, his appalling condition was the direct result of the treatment that he was given. Exactly. And Penny had the intelligence to determine the difference. The sad, shuffling half people that can be seen through the railings of any mental hospital are like that, not because of the illness that they supposedly have, but because of the cures that they are being subjected to. The social stereotype of the gray, rain-coated loony is a tasteless twist more worthy of a B-movie than of any civilized society. It is one which is forced either surgically or chemically into the patient, whose moronic and lifeless appearance is then used as proof of their supposed illness. Since his admission into hospital, Wally had been receiving pills to cure his and it again in the book it just says schizophrenia, but let's put it in quotes, right? Because he was diagnosed, the prison diagnosed him with schizophrenia. Not an actual hospital, not an actual doctor. The prison doctor had diagnosed Wally Hope with schizophrenia. So Wally had been receiving pills to cure his, for beagle-eye visions, in quotes, schizophrenia, and injections to counteract the side effects of the pills. Naturally, he had been slipping the pills under his tongue and spitting them out later. The injections were unavoidable. The hospital nurses were mostly male and considerably stronger than him, so polite refusals were of little use. Makes me so mad, dude. Makes me so fucking angry. Polite refusals were of little use. But in any case, it didn't really matter because the injections were being given to counteract the side effects of the pills that he wasn't taking. What neither he nor we knew was that the hospital staff had deliberately lied to him about which medicine was which. The result was that the injections of a drug called Modicate, which, again, don't quote me on it. This isn't gospel. I think this is one of the names that Dr. Bruce Lipton mentions in the book, The Biology of Belief. So the result was that the injections of a drug called Modicate, of which he was receiving doses massively above those recommended by the manufacturers, were creating increasingly serious side effects that were not being treated. It should have been obvious to the staff that something was going amiss. They must have realized that Wally was spitting out the pills, but that, after all, was part of their cure. He was systematically and brutally being made into a mindless moron. There's going to be more on TV. There's going to be more on TV. So this reminds me of oh, I just lost it. They must have realized that Wally was spitting out the pills. But after all, that was part of their cure. He was systematically and brutally being made into a mindless moron. It reminded me of another allegorical film, but I totally forgot. Totally brain farted. It's probably the alcohol. Man, what was it? I don't know. I can't remember. But the point is, how people are treated in the quote unquote mental health industry is fucking deplorable. Still to this day. And it is depicted. You know, it's depicted in Hollywood, it's depicted in media, it's depicted in films and movies and all sorts of stuff. Man, what was the movie I was going to shout out? I mean, it's depicted in the Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I mean, there's literally so many movies. You can't even. I mean, to sit and list all of the movies that the scam of the mental health industry, you know, all of the movies that portrays the scam of the mental health industry, I would be here all day. I would be here for 8 hours talking about all of the different types of movies. It's in so much. Man. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, SLC Punk, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jacob's Ladder. There's literally so many. So many. There's going to be more on TV. There's going to be. Anybody like Primus? Any Primus fans in the house? Yeah, Primus sucks anyway. But anyways, back to the material, page 70. Meanwhile, the second Stonehenge Festival took place. This year, thousands of people turned up, and for over 2 weeks, the authorities were unable to stop the festivities. Wood fires, tents and teepees, free food stalls, stages and bands, music and magic. Flags flew and kites soared. Naked children played in the woodlands. Miniature Robin Hoods celebrated their material poverty. Dogs formed woofing packs that excitedly stole sticks from the innumerable wood piles and then scrapped over them and tumbling. Gosh, it reminds me of Skatopia, dude. Like some of my best memories of Skatopia is everything that he is describing right now. Naked children playing in the woodlands, miniature Robin Hoods celebrating their material poverty, dogs formed woofing packs that excitedly stole sticks from the innumerable wood piles and then scrapped over them in a tumbling, rolling bundles of fur. You know, like this is literally the things that I saw at Skatopia when Skatopia was at its peak, you know. Hopefully it'll get back to that glory. But, you know, meth heads getting robbed, and then the meth heads getting robbed by other meth heads, and then those meth heads that robbed Skatopia are now being invited back to Skatopia to rob again? Like, I don't know. Make it make sense. It's not my property, so whatever. Whatever the fuck. But yeah, like this is literally some of my best memories of Skatopia. This scene is describing it. Rolling bundles of fur, two gentle horses were tethered to a tree and silently watched the festivities through the dappled light and danced across their bodies. Old bearded men squatted. Oh, should be unlocked. What's up? Two gentle horses were tethered to a tree and silently watched the festivities through dappled light and danced across their bodies. Old bearded men squatted on street. Front row. Old bearded men squatted on tree stumps, muttering prayers to their personal gods. Small groups of people tending puffing fires upon which saucepans bubbled and bread baked. Come on, Snoop Dogg. All right, so he's dropping the car keys off. Sorry. Beagles are losing it over here. Old bearded men squatted on tree stumps, muttering prayers to their personal gods. Small groups of people tending puffing fires, upon which saucepans bubbled and bread baked. Yes, dude, this is exactly like Skatopia. During the best parts of Bull Bash, during the best parts of Backwoods Blowout. You know, or I played with Blues and Corduroys. Blues and Corduroys bought me a ticket to go see Orphanarium Carnival up in Michigan. And that was more of a hippie festival. It was less of a punk rock. You know, Skatopia is more punk rock. This hippie festival in Michigan. Beautiful. Same thing. You know, children dancing, playing, dogs, packs of dogs hanging out, fighting over sticks, gentle horses, you know, individual fires, campfires, cooking food, feeding everybody. We all ate breakfast over in Michigan at Orphanarium Carnival. We all ate breakfast together, and there was an option. This is so beautiful. There was an option. You could choose dead flesh, or you could choose vegetarian or vegan. And of course, I chose vegan. So, man, those tacos were so fucking good that morning. Beautiful, dude. That's what life is all about. That's what a good music festival is all about. A good music festival. People playing. No fucking cops. You know what I mean? No order-following cowards. Nobody trying to be a motherfucking authority, telling other people what to do. You know, fuck you with your fucking authority. Go fuck yourself. If you see somebody taking charge, you will be expected to beat them. You know? Small groups of people tended puffing fires upon which saucepans bubbled and bread baked. The many rich smells blending across the warm air. Yeah, and, you know, only the best cannabis the country has to offer, too, at some of these music festivals. You know, that's not in the book. I'm just throwing that in there. You know, part of the smells, along with the food and bread, you know, got to give that real fine herb, you know. Oh, man, got to get some cannabis in there. Parties of muscular people set out in search of wood and water, accompanied always by a line of laughing, mimicking children. Beautiful. Everywhere there was singing and dancing. Yes, amazing. Where is that at? Please, anybody. If you hear my voice, where are these activities happening at? Because I need to go there. I need to go there this summer. Where are all these activities going down at? I need to be there. I have to be there this summer. Maybe Green Acres Campground in Marion, Indiana? You know? Where is it going down at? Let me know. Everywhere there was singing and dancing. Indian flutes wove strange patterns of sound around the ever-present birdsong. Yes. Yes, being a part of nature. The beat of drums echoed the hollow thud of an axe on wood. Oh my God, yes, speaking of wood, I am rock solid. I'm pitching a tent in my living room right now. I'm just getting so excited. This scene sounds so amazing. Old friends met new. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. You know, I met some of the coolest people at Skatopia. Coolest people I've ever met in my entire fucking life. You know, like what Tim Tice says about Skatopia. You go to Skatopia, you meet lifelong friends. That's what Tim Tice says. You meet lifelong friends. Seriously. You don't meet lifelong friends going to work. You don't meet lifelong friends going to go see Nickelback or AC/DC at your local fucking Plymouth Speedway. You know, you don't meet lifelong friends there. You meet lifelong friends at these festivals. At these little ghetto festivals, you know what I mean? Old friends met new, hands touched, bodies entwined, minds expanded, and in one tiny spot on our earth, love and peace had become a reality. Imagine. Just 10 miles down the road, Wally Hope, the man whose vision and hard work had made this reality possible, was being pumped full of poisons in the darkness of a hospital cell. Yeah, just like when we were all at Bull Bash while the Skate Pope was in jail, right? Which, that's a whole nother rabbit hole, you know? Hopefully Bruce got his money, because that festival was a fucking shit show. Actually, to call it a festival is almost like too much of a compliment. To call what happened during that weekend, when Bruce was in jail, to call what happened that weekend a music festival is fucking ridiculous. You know, the promoter got fucked up on drugs. You know, I drove 8 hours, didn't even get to play a slot. You know, and I didn't even get an apology in person, right? Nobody looked me in the eye and said, Henry, I'm sorry that you drove 8 hours and wasted all your fucking resources to a music festival when you could have been doing literally anything else. I never got an apology, never got any money, I never got a free fucking shirt. I never got a free Bull Bash shirt, never got a free Skatopia shirt, never got any free stickers. You know, but that's how these shitty ghetto music festivals run, you know. It's sad when people's greed is, you know, completely obvious. It makes me sick. But anyways, Wally Hope, the man whose vision and hard work made this reality possible, was being pumped full of poisons in the darkness of a hospital cell. The execution of hope. Now, I'm going to use the restroom. I'm going to take a bathroom break. Let me head to the tavern because I'm thirsty. Yeah, speaking of, you know, being treated like dog shit. Oh, the tavern's way over there. I got a distance. You know, just brush it under the rug. It's okay to treat people like dog shit, even if they drove 8 hours and worked their ass off to keep your property in a state of good condition, right? You guys have no idea how many pounds of trash I picked up at Skatopia. When I was supposed to play a show, when I was supposed to play a set, I was still wake up, get out of my tent, and with the intention of working an hour or 2 hours, literally just picking up trash, because human beings are self-indulgent and fucking disgusting. I picked up so much fucking trash on that property, and that's the thanks I get. You know, that's the thanks I get. Drive here 8 hours and you don't even get to play on stage. That's the thanks I fucking get. Yeah, fuck off. Make another presentation on fake ass punks and put me in it, you know? Use this fucking segment. Oh, this is an example of, you know, fuck off. Get your fucking shit together. Oh, yeah, but anyway, sorry. Let me use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back, and I'm going to dance on this table. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. What time is it? So we have 2 hours. I would really like to finish this book, but I'm only at page, 70? I'm at page 72. Maybe we'll finish the book, maybe not. We might have to do one more chapter. Who knows? We'll see. But one thing I do know is I need to stop ranting and stick to the material. You boys got way too many freaking toys. Dog toys in this damn house. Alright. Alright. Testing, testing. Mouth moving. Let's sit up. What's her name again? Sorry. Tallulah. Hey, Tallulah. Looking good today, Tallulah. You look gorgeous. You look gorgeous. When are we gonna go out to dinner? How about you shut this tavern down and I'll cook us up a hot meal for us, baby. How about that? How about that, girl? Testing. Son of a headset. Are we back? Headset? Headset? You gonna let me talk? Testing? Okay. Sick. Alright, we're back. I can hear the fire crackling, so that means my headset is working. Freaking lost my spot again. Oh, okay. Back at the top of page 72. Back to the material. A couple of days after the last person had left the festival site without any prior notice, Wally was set free. The gray men had kept the smiling, bronzed hippie warrior from his festival, and now, having effected their cure, ejected a nervous, gibbering wreck onto the gray streets. It took Wally 2 days to drive his rainbow-striped car from the hospital to our home. 70 miles in 2 days. Bro, 70 miles? That should take like an hour. 70 miles in 2 days. 2 days of terror. He found himself incapable of driving for any length of time and had to stop for hours on end to regain his confidence. Can you imagine being in that position? No one knew of his release, and maybe to restore some kind of dignity for himself, he was determined to do it alone. When he finally arrived at our house, he was in an even worse condition than when we had seen him at the hospital. He was barely able to walk. Oh my fucking God. Oh, this makes me sick. He was barely able to walk, and even the most simple of tasks was impossible for him. It is hard to believe that he was able to drive those 70 miles at all. This pale shadow of a person who we had once known now found it agony to sit in the sun. His face and hands would swell up into a distorted mess. The sun that he worshipped was now all darkness for him. At night, he would lay in his bed, crying, quiet, desperate sobs that would go on until dawn. When finally he would go to sleep, nothing seemed to help his pathetic condition. We tried to teach him to walk properly again, but he was unable to coordinate. His left arm would swing forward with his left leg, his right with his right. Oh my God. Sometimes we were able to laugh about it, but the laughter always gave way to tears. We couldn't understand and we were afraid. Finally, out of desperation, we managed to get him to a doctor who diagnosed his condition as chronic dyskinesia, a disease brought about through overdoses of Modicate, whatever the fuck that demonic name is, Modicate, and related drugs. Wally had been made into a cabbage, and worse, an incurable one. Bit by bit, the realization that he was doomed to live in a half-world of drug-induced idiocy made its way into what was left of his brain. On the 3rd of September 1975, unable to face another day, perhaps hoping that death might offer more to him than than what was left in life. Wally Hope overdosed on sleeping pills and, and choked to death on the vomit that they induced. Fuck me, man. Let's give some silence for Wally Hope and all the other spiritual warriors turned martyrs. I keep thinking of Ragnar. I keep thinking of Ragnar and Taco. Taco died about 2 years ago. And Ragnar died about 2 years before Cody did. And Ragnar was a Skatopia, and everybody knew him as Uncle Sam. Everybody called, if it wasn't everybody, Ragnar was his nickname, obviously, but they would call him Ragnar or Uncle Sam because he would always dress up like. Well, he was always dressed up like a punk rock Uncle Sam, to where he had the denim jacket with the ripped sleeves and a denim patch jacket with ripped sleeves. I miss Ragnar so much. Denim jacket with ripped sleeves with the American flag, the rolled up American flag bandana around his forehead. I miss him so much. Let me go blow my nose, and we'll get back to the material. But before I do that, I will have an in-game grog for Ragnar, and Taco, and Uncle Doug, and John Grice, all these guys. Yeah, don't look at me like that. Don't judge me, lady. I saw you watching me. Damn, just stepped out of the tavern to get some fresh air, and you're watching me like a hawk. Judging me. Judge me while I'm having a beer for my homies, damn it. Let me go, wow, I picked a really bad spot to sit. I don't want to sit in front of the cauldron. Alright, let me go blow my nose. And we'll get back to the material. Oh, man. Man, I bet me and Wally Hope would get along like two peas in a pod, bro. Wally Hope probably would have been my best friend. His name was Wally Hope. His name was Robert Paulson. His name was Wally Hope. Ugh. Anyways, any Hoosers. Hello. Testing. All right. I might have to play some Sea of Thieves later. I got tomorrow off, so if I don't play Sea of Thieves on Twitch later, I will be playing Sea of Thieves tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to upload a new video. I'm going to change my strings. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I'm busy. But let's get back to the material. So we left off at Wally Hope overdosed on sleeping pills and choked to death on the vomit that they induced. In the relatively short time that we have on this earth, we probably have contact with thousands of people with whom we share little more than half smiles and polite conversation. We are lucky if amongst those thousands of faces, one actually responds to us with more than predictable formalities. Son of a... I thought I wasn't gonna be upset, but now this book is hitting too close to home again. Real friends are rare. True understanding between people is difficult to achieve. And when it is achieved, it is the most precious of all human experiences. Holy shit. So fucking true. I have been lucky in that I am part of a group of people whom I regard as friends and with whom I can share a sense of reality and work towards a shared vision of the future. Equally, I have met a few people who, because of their own cynicism and lack of purpose, appear to want to prevent people like ourselves from expressing our own sense of our own lives. I see people like that as the dark shadows that have made our world so colorless. Yes, like the very same fucking hypocrites that I was bitching about in the last modern day Chautauqua. The last few modern day Chautauquas when I started this book. Speaking out on fake ass punks. You know, and fake ass punks who do hour-long presentations on the same shit that they don't even practice what they preach. I'm fucking sick of it. You know, until I get a formal apology, you probably won't see me at Skatopia anytime soon. You know, and if you do see me at Skatopia, fucking call me out, please. Please call me out on my bullshit. Because I want to grow. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite like all these other fake-ass fucking punks who make hour-long presentations on shit that they don't even fucking practice. Makes me fucking sick. Yeah, I'm going to make a presentation on fake-ass punks, then have my girlfriend, my pregnant girlfriend, steal dead flesh from Walmart. Grow the fuck up. Become a real man. And feed your family. A man is supposed to protect his family. Not have his family steal from fucking Walmart for their sustenance. I don't give a fuck what your excuse is. Fuck you, fuck your excuse. Well, Walmart's robbing you, so might as well rob them. No, fuck you. How about you get a fucking job? If you're gonna bring another baby, if you're gonna bring another man, another human being into this planet, how about you fucking provide for that human being? Not have the woman who is bringing this human being onto the planet go and steal from Walmart. How about you grow the fuck up? You know? Become a fucking adult. Become a fucking man. When are you going to become a man? Your grandmommy pays for your cell phone bill, yet you still have your girlfriend go steal food from Walmart. Please, somebody make it make sense. But anyways, I digress, as usual. I can share a sense of reality and work towards a shared vision of the future. Equally, I have met people who, because of their own cynicism and lack of purpose, appear to want to prevent people like ourselves from expressing our own sense of our own lives. I see people like that as dark shadows that have made our world so colorless. Wally was a genius. And I trust Penny, because as far as I've never met Penny in my real life, but as far what I can see from Penny, he seems like a real ass dude. He seems like a very humble individual, and I could absolutely share a beer or a conversation or share a house. I could share anything with that man. Penny Rambod, the author of this book, is an absolute fucking legend. To this day, he doesn't have his baby mamas stealing from fucking Walmart for sustenance. I see people like, Wally was a genius. I can't pretend to have completely liked him, He was far too demanding to be liked, but I did love him. He was one of the most colorful characters that I had ever met. A person who had a deep sense of destiny and no fear whatsoever in pursuing it. If friends are rare, people like Wally are very, very rare indeed. I don't suppose I shall ever meet someone quite like him again. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Tim Tice. This is exactly how I feel about Tim Tice. He was a magical, mystical visionary who demonstrated more to me about the meaning of life than all the great nobodies who have ever existed could ever hope to do. Yes, Tim Tice taught me so much shit about life. Man, you know, I put people up on a pedestal. I put my friends up on a pedestal. Like, you know, I say Brandon Martin, he's a legend, and he taught me so much. Cubby Old Podcast taught me so much, but you know, it's like it wasn't even. Brandon just pointed me in the right direction. Brandon just showed me where to look. Tim Tice taught me. Tim Tice is a true fucking teacher. You know, once upon a time I asked Brandon Martin for help, and he said, "Look it up yourself. You know how to do your own research." Tim Tice would never say that to me. He'd never say that to anybody. You know, I mean, I shouldn't be comparing, you know. I shouldn't be comparing to people. I shouldn't be judging people. Blah, blah, fucking blah. You know. There are legends. There are true people who really care. And like Penny said in this book, they're very, very rare. And people like Wally Hope and Tim Tice never get enough credit. And it's fucking despicable. Or John Grice, people like John Grice, who passed away a few years ago. People like Wally are very, very rare indeed. I don't suppose I shall ever meet someone quite like him again. He was a magical, mystical visionary who demonstrated more to be about the meaning of life than all the great nobodies who have ever existed could ever hope to do. He was an individual. Pure energy. Let's get some green language, some emerald language. What is energy? Pure energy. Pure inner chi. Pure inner chi, right? A great big golden light that shone in the darkness, who because he was kind, gentle, and loving was seen by those gray people as a threat. A threat that they felt should be destroyed. Wally was not mad, not crazy, not a nutter. He was a human being who didn't want to have to accept the gray world that we are told is all we should expect in life. He wanted more and set out to get it. He didn't see why we should have to live as enemies to each other. He believed, as do most anarchists, that people are basically kind and good, and that it is the restrictions and limitations forced upon us, often violently, by uncaring systems that creates evil. And now I'm going to go off on a rant, just like what The Illusion says on YouTube, Hamish Patterson. And now Hamish Patterson pushes religion to this day. He pushes religion like he gets fucking paid for it, right? He's a shill. The Illusion is a shill for religion, but I love The Illusion. His interview that he did with Richie Jackson. He did 2 interviews with Richie Jackson. And The Illusion believes that most people, you know, your average Joe, most people who own houses and go to work and do the 9 to 5, blah, 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 you know, go to work. Most people just want to be left the fuck alone. Most people just want to go to work, mind their own fucking business, and be left the fuck alone. And I still, to this day, I really believe that that is true. Most people don't want to control their neighbors. Most people don't want police and military in family lives, in the lives of families, because as soon as you bring in police and military in the lives of families, then the family is destroyed. Period. Period. And like what Mark Passio says about the Matrix, about what Mark Passio says about the police in the allegorical films of the Matrix, it's whenever the characters in the Matrix start making true, real progress, the police come in and bust up the progress and halt the progress. You know? And it's still true to this day. I don't give a fuck who you voted for. I don't care what you believe. That is the utmost utter truth. You know? And I'm sorry that if you don't understand that, I'm sorry that you don't have the intelligence to understand that. I'm sorry you do not have the mental capacity to recognize patterns and recognize what slavery is. I'm sorry you do not understand what the definition of a right action is. You know. But anyways, I'm going to take a leak and use the bathroom. Hopefully, Yep, okay, so I've lost my spot. I don't know, how far are we? We're already over an hour, and it's about 4:30. I might get up to page 80 and then stop it, because I want to play video games and I want to have fun. I don't want to read a book to the internet when the internet doesn't even care. You know, I keep seeing people tune in and tune out, but as soon as they tune in, they tune right back out. Talking about freedom and natural law, and you know, talking about these topics doesn't get you liked. It doesn't get you friends. You know, it fucking sucks. But again, that's the truth. But let me take a leak. Let me move around the tavern a little bit. Let me dance on the stoop. Stoop kid, sitting on the stoop. Let me dance, and I will be right back. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, we'll get to page 80. Oh, dang it. Testing. Hello. Sick. All right. So, yeah, we'll get to page 80 and then we'll call it there. I still have to take a shower before dinner and clean off all this paint off my hands. Oh, Lorena keeps yawning. That's who that is. Get all this paint off my hands and then upload a dub for the day before dinner after the shower. Yeah, so it's like, man, I got so many irons in the fire. It's hard to keep track, but let's keep moving on. So back to top of page 75. What is evil but good, tortured by its own hunger and thirst? Phil Russell quoting The Prophet, 1974. Yeah, and speaking of, very synchronistically, The Prophet is the next book review that will be recorded, signed, sealed, and delivered. Before I go to Chicago, this book review will be recorded and up on the channel. So it'll be the book review for the month of April, and then for the month of May, I don't know what book I'm doing yet. I'll do a fiction, or I don't know. I'll decide. Whatever I feel like reading on the train, really. But yeah. So stay tuned and stay gold. We are born free, but almost immediately we are subjected to conditioning in preparation for a life of slavery within the system. We are molded by our parents, teachers, preachers, and bosses to conform to what they want from us rather than to our own natural and unique desires. Anarchists believe that those natural desires are peaceful and cooperative lives. Anarchists believe that those natural desires for peaceful and cooperative lives are denied us because they do not serve the requirements of the ruling classes. Life should and could be a wonderful and exciting experience. Abso-fucking-lutely. Despite what the politicians say, the world is big enough for all of us if we could only learn to share it and to respect each other within it. Millions of people are governed by very few. Millions of lives of gray slavery simply so that those few can enjoy the privileges that are the birthright of us all. Surely, by sheer weight of numbers, we have the strength to take back what is rightfully ours. But then we are faced with that age-old dilemma. Do we have the right to use violence to force our demands? The anarchist answer would have to be no. Armed revolution, as advocated by extremists, both of the left and the right, is nothing more than destructive revenge, an unpleasant tactic learned in the school playground and never forgotten. To say that violence is the only way to achieve improvements for the common good is to say that people are basically bad and unchangeable. An unacceptably cynical view that runs deep through most political thought. And what Mark Passio would call it, a poisoned worldview. You know, this is a cynical, poisoned worldview. You know, in order to protect people from robbing, stealing, and murdering each other, we're going to employ a small group of people, a small group of those very same people, and give them the authority to kidnap, rob, and, to steal from people, right? It's so stupid. Those who advocate armed revolution are seeking to oppress those who they see as enemies in exactly the same way as those enemies oppress them. The boot is simply placed on another foot. Force can only lead to resentment. If force is used to make someone do something against their will, they will eventually fight back. The same applies to armed revolution. If a revolution is won by violent means, it will inevitably create violent reaction. The vicious circle of violence rolls on, and nothing but the same of the oppressor will have changed. Anarchists believe that it is essential to break that circle of violence, as it is precisely that which distorts and perverts people's basic kindness and goodness. Anarchists believe that it is the right of the individual to make their own decisions free from imposed restrictions and the threats of violence with which they go hand in hand in demanding those rights for themselves. Anarchists are almost duty-bound to respect those rights in others. It is here that anarchy and all other forms of political thought part company, because anarchists believe that people are basically kind and good, and as an act of faith, they are able to conceive of and create revolution without violence. Other forms of political thought, lost in the cynical view of humans as bad and unchangeable, have no alternative but to resort to the immaturity of violence. Thus, unavoidably, anarchists must also promote pacifism. For if anarchists truly believe that they have the right to live their own lives, how can they permit the use of violence to deny others theirs? However, standing against violence, it's a fine line we're walking here. Very fine line. However, standing against violence doesn't mean just passively standing by and letting it happen. If forced, pacifists will defend themselves and others from attack, not out of a sense of aggression or revenge, but from a need to demonstrate their strength, the strength of love. By opposing violence with a sense of love and respect, the aggressor is allowed to consider their own actions and is given the opportunity to back down. By opposing violence with violence, nothing but an escalation can be achieved. Nothing can be learnt, and existing values, regardless of who is the victor, remaining unchallenged. Likewise, with larger scale conflict, if the state is opposed with violence, it will reply with violence. Whereas if it is opposed with a desire to create love and respect, it is not impossible that love and respect could be the response. The choice is ours. It must be worth trying. The personal risk involved in rejecting violence with love is perhaps far higher than the traditional approach of an eye for an eye. It takes a true sense of courage to reply to violence with love rather than fists. But the rewards are real and lasting. Violence has become such an accepted method of solving problems that people justify it on the grounds that it is a natural instinct. Pacifists, like anarchists, believe that our natural instinct is one of love, and that violence is simply the result of that love having been stifled and perverted by repressive social systems. From domestic violence to global war, the rules have always been the same. Destroy that which you don't understand. Yes. Absolutely. Pacifists and anarchists seek to creatively solve problems by developing mutual understanding between people rather than mutual hostility. Violence only makes disagreements worse. It works on the principle of winners and losers. Pacifists and anarchists believe that no one should have to suffer the inhuman condition of being a loser, and that no one should have to benefit from the inhuman condition of being a winner. We're not born that way, so why should we or anyone else live that way? All other forms of political thought rely on there being losers who are then exploited as slaves by winners. Both right and left-wing states employ force to maintain power. People are reduced to simple tools servicing the machinery of the state, and as such are expected to live, and if need be, die for that state. Anarchy is the rejection of state control, a demand by the individual to live a life of personal choice. Anarchists believe that if each individual can learn to act out of personal conscience rather than greed, the machinery of power will collapse. And yes, and that's exactly what would happen. It is unfair and untrue to say that this is nothing but dreamy idealism. Throughout history, people have created change without resorting to violence by simply, en masse, refusing to bow down to the authority that seeks to oppress them. History books rarely document these victories of the people because history books are concerned with the politics of power rather than the lives of the people. It is true that the state has often overthrown shows of passive resistance with violence. But had that resistance itself been of a violent nature, the state would simply have overthrown it with a greater force. Violence breeds violence. It is to cases of state violence that those who advocate armed revolution always refer when attempting to justify their own desire for violence. Never do they accept the enormous changes that they have been achieved through anarcho-pacifist methods. Their deep-rooted cynicism and desire for revenge makes them blind to the strength of human goodness. These overgrown schoolboys and frustrated college Marxists advocate armed revolution by working. These Marxists advocate armed revolution by the working classes to overthrow the oppressor. and this is at the top of page 80, which I will, at the next Chautauqua, I will probably go through that sentence, because it's so true. It's still, to this day, college universities are a total scam. It's a communist indoctrination system. And anybody that encourages, including the fake-ass punks I mentioned earlier, who went to my ex-girlfriend's graduation party. And again, these fake-ass punks make presentations on natural law, on fake-ass punks make hour-long presentations, do hours and hours and hours of podcasting about natural law, and then you're about statism. Skatopia sells shirts on statism. Last time I checked, Seed Truth Academy website sells shirts on statism. And then they go and encourage people by going to the graduation ceremony of a statist, right? They go to the graduation ceremony of a statist. And then they call themselves anarchists. It's these people need to be fucking cut down off of their dumbass fucking pedestal. All these people are fake-ass fucking anarchists. I'm fucking sick of it. You know, how can you call yourself an anarchist and then you're going to go to a graduation ceremony of a statist? She's graduating statism. Period. She got her degree in statism, and you, a fake-ass anarchist, is going to go and encourage it. And then you're going to call yourself an anarchist. You know? God, I wish I had big tits. I wish I had big tits. Because if I had big tits, I would be a fucking VIP at Skatopia right now. You know? But anyways. I'm so sick of these fake-ass punks, dude. Yeah, and then you're going to say you're my friend. Exactly what Penny said. Real friends are fucking unicorns. That's not what Penny said verbatim, you know. But real friends are so rare. Real friends that genuinely care about you. Genuinely care about your well-being. I think this is like, I wish I lived at Skatopia when Ragnar died. I mean, I can't prove it. I can't go back in time to prove my statement to be true. But I swear to God, if I lived near Ragnar, you know, I don't. Maybe I could have. Maybe I could have done something. Maybe I could have. You know, maybe Ragnar's children wouldn't be fatherless right now if he was around actually good people instead of being around fake-ass fucking anarchists who say that they're good people, and then they say that they're your friend, and then you go and travel 8 hours to go to their property to play a show, and then you don't even get to fucking play. You know? And that's what friends do for each other? Get the fuck out of here. Pull your fucking head out of the sand and start practicing what the fuck you preach, motherfucker. God. Ragnar might still be alive if he was surrounded by good people. If he was surrounded by true friends. Cody Taco Hauk might still be alive if he was surrounded by good people and good fucking friends. You know? 3 months before Cody died, I asked his cousin, I said, how the fuck is Cody doing? I haven't heard from him in years. How is Cody doing? And his cousin said Cody was not doing good. His cousin said Cody was going through a rough time. I asked his cousin for Cody's phone number. I didn't get it. I showed genuine concern towards Cody. And his own cousin didn't give me his phone number, didn't tell Cody to message me. I would have had Cody come over to my fucking house and stay the night, bro. Like, what are you doing? You're relapsing, bro? What are you going through, man? Open up to me. I'm not here to judge you, bro. I'm your friend. Me and Cody didn't always see eye to eye. We didn't always get along. You know? But like Penny said about Wally, I fucking loved him. He was a human being. I loved Cody. I've worked together. We worked together at Domino's. We were in the fucking trenches together. You know? Fucking loved that dude. He was married. His fiance fucking cheated on him. Cody's fiance fucking cheated on him. And where was his family? His family was fucking nowhere to support him. Fucking non-existence. This man was about to get fucking married and he gets cheated on. His family was non-existent. That was when me and Cody were homeless together. We were homeless together. We were sleeping at fucking parks together, dude, when he got fucking cheated on and he got divorced. And his girlfriend took the apartment and kicked his ass out. His family was non-existent, like I said. Like Penny Rumbai said, real friends who genuinely care about each other are so fucking rare in this society. Oh, man. Oh, God. Well, I have tomorrow off. So since I have tomorrow off, we will probably get to finish the Chautauqua tomorrow. What's the date tomorrow? March 11th. So March 11th tomorrow, we will finish this Chautauqua. And we got about 40 pages left. I mean, hopefully we'll finish the Chautauqua. I don't, my attention span. I have to knock out some pages. Probably first thing when I wake up, I'm going to knock out some pages of The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, which is, it's so synchronistic that I just read the quote by The Prophet, Let's see. What is evil but good, tortured by its own hunger and thirst? A quote from The Prophet, So I will be getting into that book. That's going to be the book review for April. Excuse me. That's going to be the book review for April. I need to shower before I get dinner started. It's already 5 o'clock, so I have about 20 minutes to shower and get dinner started before Pickle gets home. So, so much to do. I still have to do the dishes. Probably while the sauce is cooking, I'll do the dishes. Yeah, we'll get the Chautauqua finished tomorrow. Hopefully finished tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe this weekend either. Yeah, I don't know. Too many irons in the fire. But anyways, thank you so much. You're an absolute legend if you made it this far. If you want to support the channel, use code BeagleEyeVision without the S, not Beagle Eye Visions. Beagle Eye Vision at w.gg. Get yourself 10% off your entire purchase. What else? If you really want to support the channel, Cash App Beagle Eye. You can find the money symbol Beagle Eye if you want to donate directly to the channel. Anything helps. I need a new computer. I think if I keep doing these manual labor cashy jobs like Mike Nolan, I might be able to get a computer in no time. But I'm going to have to pay money to empty out the garage. I really want to do interviews. I want to do interviews in the garage because my local venue, my local fake-ass Christian venue that is called The Well. See, nobody is safe under Beagle Eye Visions. It's not easy going through life questioning everybody's punk rock credibility. It is not easy going through life. So all of the fake-ass punks over at The Well on Mishawaka Avenue in northern Indiana, here in South Bend, Indiana. All of those fake-ass fucking punks, all of those fake-ass fucking hippies. I used to be able to do interviews at The Well. But the last time I had an interview lined up at The Well, I was going to interview the fake-ass punk rock band of Dad Jokes. I was going to interview the whole band at The Well. And then the manager of The Well, Patrick Quigley, who I did interview him on this Beagle Eye Vision channel here. I did interview him. And it was a really fun interview, but then he fucking ghosted me. As if I'm not even a human being. And again, this fake-ass Christian who cares about his community fucking ghosted me, right? And he's posting on Facebook constantly, hey, I love you guys. I love you. We have a nice, strong community here. And then just ghosts me out of nowhere. And he ghosted me. The last message that I sent to this guy, I said, hey, Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you guys have a phenomenal Christmas. Let's schedule this interview. Something along the lines of that message, you know. And again, ghosted, right? I get fucking ghosted. All I do is promote this guy's work. I gave him an interview. I promoted him. I called him a legend on my YouTube channel. And I get fucking ghosted. Why? Somebody make it make sense. Please, please, can somebody make it make sense? This guy's like, oh, community. We here at the well. Everybody's welcome here at the well. Everybody's welcome. And then you get some punk rocker kid who wants to do an interview with you and your band, right? An interview with you and your band. And you just fucking ghost him. This is how people are. This is how fake-ass punk rockers act. This is how fake-ass individuals, fake-ass human beings, fake-ass Christians, fake-ass punk rockers. I'm fucking sick of all of them. Fucking sick of all of you people. If you're going to preach community, do some shit in your community that shows you care about your community. If you're going to preach unity, unify the people if you're going to preach unity. Stop being a fake-ass fucking cunt. You know. Stop being a fake-ass Christian. Just be real. It's not that hard to be an honest person. It takes little to no energy to be an honest person. Actually, in fact, it takes no energy. It takes zero fucking energy to be an honest person. And we live in this fucking society where racist pedophile Trumps are bombing schools and murdering innocent children, and then you got people promoting community when they really don't even give a fuck about their community. They're doing events with LGBTQ to get tax breaks, right, to help their ass. It's all Satanism. All these pseudo-Satanists. Satanists by fucking proxy. De facto Satanists, right? They're going to make a presentation on fake-ass punks, a 2-hour presentation on fake-ass punks, and then you are going to be a fake-ass punk rocker yourself. You know? De facto Satanist. Let's start fucking calling them out. These people are de facto Satanists. Know them by their deeds. Right? And like I said, I hope if I start being a de facto Satanist, I hope to fucking God somebody around me has the balls to call me out on my bullshit. Because I don't want to be a de facto Satanist. I want to be a fucking punk rocker. I want to be a real-ass dude. I want to be a good man. I want to be a good, moral individual. So if I start being immoral, call me out. Call me out. I will respect you. I won't get mad. I won't get sad at you. I won't get disappointed at you. I will fucking respect you. Look me in the eye and call me out on my fucking bullshit. Because I will do the same for you. Anyways. Beagle Eye Visions, I gotta get in the shower. I fucking stink. Beagle Eye Visions, signing off. Stay tuned and stay gold. There's gonna be more content tomorrow. So, hang tight. Hang tight. Drink a good beverage. Maybe even an alcoholic beverage if you feel so inclined. Who am I to judge you? You know? I'm not gonna make a presentation on fake-ass punks and then make you feel like an asshole for drinking a beer. You know, I want real friends like Barrington Levy sings about. I want real friends. I don't want no things, friends. Oh, I want genuine friends. Maybe that's why I don't have any friends, because I call people out too much. I don't know. Anyways, I've ranted on long enough. Stay tuned. Stay gold, everybody. Beagle Eye Visions. Signing off.